Well, we all knew the day was coming, but until now, Respawn Entertainment and Apex Legends has remained relatively, what I would say, reasonably priced in terms of a free-to-play video game. The third or fourth probably most popular Battle Royale style free-to-play game, Apex Legends, has been hanging on lately. It has been trying to rebuild some momentum and, of course, challenge Fortnite for a little bit of their viewership. I don't think Apex Legends will ever be bigger than Fortnite, or if they ever even intended it to be that big. Obviously, that would be nice, but, you know, living in the third, fourth, fifth spot in that kind of space is probably very profitable for them, even with free-to-play. However, they released the new Iron Crown, or otherwise known as the Iron Whale event the other day, which rolls out some ridiculous microtransactions, including having to spend up to $200 or more just to get an axe. Think I'm kidding? Well, the math is all here in the Iron Whale meme. You get 13 days to complete this event. So, essentially, you have a bunch of cosmetics that are only available for a limited time. So if you complete it in the window of time, even if you, you only have a window of time to get these events, which means people will be which means people will be more inclined to purchase them. To get the Heirloom set, the axe will cost you $203 in microtransactions, or $189 if you get the 2 free boxes. To get all of the 24 cosmetics, it would cost you $168. Now, there's been a lot of breakdowns in terms of what you can get from going free to play, and we will always have a fair rebuttal to this criticism, okay? Yes, the game is free to play. Yes, you don't need any of these cosmetics. Therefore, you can't be that angry about these cosmetics. However, there is a real line, I think, even in a free-to-play game when it comes to cosmetics, where the cost is getting absurd. So you get, if you play free-to-play, you get 60 crowns from the 2 challenges, 15 for each completion, 4 completions in total. 60 crowns from the 2 loot boxes, either 2 epics, 2 legendaries, or 1 epic and 1 legendary from the loot pool. Crowns are 1 banner music pack, no crowns remaining, or 2 uncommon skins, 60 crowns left with no use. Total, 2 epics, legendaries, 2 uncommon weapons, or a banner. Behind a paywall, there are 22 loot boxes for $154, or 24 loot boxes for $168. If you complete the 2 challenges, you'll get 1,400 coins redeemed. Gives you enough crowns to get all either crown stuff, or after 24 loot boxes, you'll have to pay $35 still for the Heirloom. Total $203 to unlock 24 items and an Heirloom. And people are mad. This Apex Legends axe costs you $112 and $25 on top of that. Well, this is pounds, I believe. The games industry's insistence on profiting from loot box mechanics continues today as Apex Legends' highly anticipated Iron Crown collection event has arrived, absolutely riddled with loot boxes. In contrast to Apex Legends' previous event, Legendary Hunt, in which all cosmetics could be earned or purchased directly from the store, most of the Iron Crown collection cosmetics are locked behind expensive loot boxes. Worst of all, Bloodhound's Heirloom set, containing an axe and a kill equip and a banner pose, can only be unlocked after opening about 130 pounds worth of packs and then paying another 28 on top of that. I've already converted that for you to dollars. That was 168 US to get to that, and then 203 basically total. First up, what do you get for the free crown event? We talked about that. You can also earn 2 free crown collection packs, aka loot boxes. Yes, recap. Again, this is in pounds. That's between $112 and $128 for all event items in loot boxes, assuming you unlock 2 loot boxes through gameplay. Otherwise, it's between 120 and 135 pounds. Still with me, it gets worse, as Apex Legends has locked some of the new items behind loot boxes. Bloodhound's Heirloom set, including that axe, becomes available to buy once all 24 items are unlocked. It means you have to have all 24, and then you can pay for it. You earn the great honor of paying for it. So you must pay another 3,500 Apex coins on top of all that, which brings a total to 18,900 Apex coins, which is 151 pounds. To repeat, if you want the Bloodhound Heirloom set, it'll cost you between 136 pounds and 152 pounds, assuming you unlock the 2 loot boxes. That's bad enough, but the decision to hide the best cosmetics in loot boxes feels particularly egregious in light of criticism Apex Legends previously received for Battle Pass, with the main concern of being a lack of cosmetic items for the price. The previous Legendary Hunt event provided Battle Pass holders with event skins, but this time, owning the Battle Pass gets you nothing extra. Adding further insult to injury, these events are limited to the next 2 weeks, thus applying pressure for players to purchase them now or face losing them forever. And should you want a specific skin for your favorite character, there's literally no way to purchase it, and thus leaving you to the ravages of RNGesus. Unlike opening a loot box, the community reaction to this event has been predictable. The Apex Legends subreddit is outraged, and many players are calling for a boycott of spending on the event. While loot boxes have been present in Apex Legends since launch, the sheer cost of the event, items, and heirloom set have tipped most players over the edge. Many consider this a deliberate attempt to attract whales, players who overspend in games rather than realistic pricing for the average player. It's worth noting that existing Wraith Heirloom set, similarly containing knife, banner, pose, and quip, is only obtainable via loot boxes, with the EA website stating that there's less than 1% probability of the set dropping. You'd have to open over 100 boxes on average. Over 100. There's a 500 box pity timer, but that's potentially 320 pounds to 400 pounds. Perhaps the enduring chance of it being possibly dropped meant players were less opposed to it compared to the attention-grabbing hard paywall of Bloodhound's Heirloom set in this limited time event. In any case, the patch notes say Bloodhound's Heirloom set will eventually end up in the regular loot pool after the event, likely with the same odds as Wraiths. Less than a 1% chance. Less than a 1% chance of getting it through just opening up loot boxes. Of course, the pity timer means that you're not going to have to open more than 500, but it's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. And if we look at the game itself, I wouldn't say it's necessarily flourishing. I mean, we know the meteoric rise when it launched back in February, when yours truly broke the news. But it's been on a steady decline since, seeing a small increase in July, I think, as kids got off school. They've been playing it, then the lull at the end of July, and then the recent peak as of yesterday for the Heirloom event, or the Iron Whale event. Now, even that, though, even at the peak on August 13th, you had 59,000 viewers? Wait, that can't be right. Oh, yeah, it peaked at 59,000 viewers there. We look at Fortnite, you know, on the same day, which is at a lull, had 124,000. And that's on the day, obviously, of a big release. So it's been averaging, you know, if we look at, it's peaked at 674,000 peak viewers. It averages 29,000. When we compare that to Fortnite's average of 121,000, I mean, they're nowhere in the same park, but they're holding their own. Now, obviously, I'm surprised to see all the coverage on this, since, you know, news outlets seem to forget to cover these type of things. But here on Polygon, it says Apex Legends community is raging over the news cosmetic pricing. Respawn Entertainment launched a major update to Apex Legends earlier today, featuring a new event called Iron Crown. The event is running for a limited time and introduces exclusive cosmetics that players can only unlock when the event is live. Just a few hours after the launch event, the Apex Legends community made it clear that they are not happy. The big issues with players, obviously, as expressed in the subreddit, seems to be the pricing and availability of the Iron Crown event packs. If you haven't played Apex Legends in a while, the pricing model can be a little tricky to crack. But the basics are that it'll run players 700 Apex coins to open each Iron Crown pack. That's about $7 in real money. $7! Why aren't they $1? All right? You should be giving these things out for $1 and then letting people buy 100 of them for $50, because they're just cosmetics. Like, Why do you have to? This is definitely an attempt to attract whales only, okay? Seems the pricing, there are 24 Iron Crown packs in total, 2 of which can be earned through gameplay, so players looking to unlock everything will have to throw down $154. Now, this is just for a 2-week event. $154 to open all the boxes is absurd. For all those who don't feel like they need every single cosmetic, they're still all at the whim of an RNG loot boxes, which mean they could be $100 in the hole before getting the desired skin, even without duplicates in these boxes. This post on the Apex Legends subreddit from McHerpderp says a good job summarizing players' complaints, but one of many posts that have bubbled up. Given that Apex Legends is a free-to-play game, it's no surprise that cosmetics would be expensive, but trying a gambling mechanic in the form of loot boxes to limited-time cosmetics seems particularly harsh for players. We've reached out to Respawn. Yeah. So if we look at McHerp, with the new patch introducing solos, which, by the way, is cool, they included 24 new items, which are all locked behind new packs. Most of these items are skins, are phenomenal. But with the current pricing, 700 Apex coins or 7 per pack, it's actually abysmal to think about. You get 2 Apex packs free for playing the game. This means you still have to buy 22 Apex packs to get all items, which amounts to $140 to get every single item. I'm sure that most of us don't want every item. We want maybe a skin for our legend and maybe up to 10 other items as well. Unfortunately, with this baloney system, you might not get any of the items you want because of RNG loot mechanics. I personally want 3 items total from the new packs, a 1 in 8 chance to get 1 for each $7 I spend. Do you see the problem here? Statistically, I would have to spend $56 to be guaranteed any one of my items, a 1 in 8 chance, but practically that isn't the case. They spend all this time making skins of weapons, but then lock the biggest RNG paywalls I've ever seen in the game to date. Don't spend money to buy these packs. If you do the next time, be sure it will end up the exact same way. For anything behind a paywall, won't ever get new skins, anything without spending $145. Don't condone this behavior. P.S. If you want the Bloodhound Heirloom, you have to spend $145 plus an additional $40 to buy it because you have to have every Iron Crown item before you can buy it. Wow. That is insane. First of all, why don't you just make the Heirloom free for unlocking all of the items? Why are you charging? Why are you so insanely greedy that you need to beg for money or you need to make them pay money on top of that? Then you had Shroud explaining why, quote, microtransactions are, quote, needed. Sure, nobody's arguing that microtransactions aren't required or even a fair thing to have in a game that's free to play. People are upset that the price is absurd. On a stream on August 13th, Shroud goes on against the current consensus, arguing that while the current system could be improved, it's just a necessary part of the game. Initially surprised by the lack of content given by the developers, Shroud said there's no way that you only get 2 packs. Although the popular Twitch streamer goes on to stand firmly behind the idea of opening packs to obtain skins. He later empathizes with his viewers by agreeing that having the ability to choose which items you can unlock would have been an improved system. He later adds that skins should not be handed out to players and RNG is necessity for Respawn to make money, while going on to admire the aesthetics of skins and opening more event packs. Come on, Shroud. Quote, I don't want everything to be handed to people. I don't like that. If this is the whole event, then you could just unlock, and that's a problem. While opening more Iron Crown event packs, Shroud compares the well-oiled system behind Riot Games' microtransactions and explains how, quote, they're needed in the game in the context of the modern era free-to-play games. Given a mixed bag of response from the community and popular influencers such as Shroud, it will be interesting to see the developers respond during a limited time event and make the in-game cosmetics more accessible to the masses. Now, Shroud, here's the thing. Microtransactions are required, especially if the game's free to play. Charging $7 for an RNG pack is not. All right, I get that they have to make money, but why not? If you needed people to open more packs, why wouldn't you just have more cool items? Instead of 24, you could have did 72 really awesome items and then charged $1 or $2 per pack. Why not do that if you needed to make more money? What EA is doing here is maximizing their profit and entirely facing and trying to attract the whales. Either that or they don't care at all about their customers. I completely empathize with the Apex Legends community, and I'm sincerely hoping that Respawn rethinks this system in the future and people continue to not buy and not support these predatory microtransactions in Apex Legends, because even though the game is free to play, it doesn't mean that they have to take advantage of people that they know can't help themselves. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.